Dun, 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 dun. There we go. All right, we are there. Everybody should be live. We are on it. I'm going to get ready to do my intros. No, 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 no. This is the extended for you guys. I missed it a couple times. There, that's the extension. Welcome to the Everyday Sniper. You got Frank at Sniper's Hide, and we are live on YouTube, Sniper's Hide, and X. In case you want to see that, there's videos that you can see. But welcome to Sunday morning. Just trying to chilling out, having my cup of coffee. Weather actually finally cleared up for us, but man, what a bad week in Colorado. I'm getting ready to go now because we passed the craziest, stupidest buy your rights back gun law on the planet, and they signed it. So I'm out. I have until May of next year, almost 1 year to the day for the lease here. And my range is going away as well because they've leased the range out for solar, but that won't happen for a little bit. I got some time. However, that's a nail. The gun law's a nail, right? So I'm out of Colorado. We're going to get ready to jump ship, and I'm going to look either Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, something like that. I'm going to a gun friendly state, red state. I'm done with this communist enclave here in Colorado. Beyond ridiculous what they've done with these laws and everything. It's just crazy that they'll accept gun laws like this and just totally, you got to buy your rights back. You have to go through classes, which they can deny you even the card to take the class. So this is just designed to push buying a gun as far away as possible to discourage you. They're wrecking the gun shops in Colorado. So they're until this communist regime in this state is eliminated, there is no reason to come to Colorado anymore. I am completely over it and I'm out. I'm done. I don't have the ties to the state that I have to worry about with the range going, but this anti-gun, anti-this, anti-that, it's insane. They know it's illegal. They know it's against the Constitution. They don't care. They'll have sympathetic courts here and other places, and they'll just bounce those sympathetic courts just like they do in California and other places. I mean, recently, how many of these gun laws have been shot down across the country, and yet they'll just play the court game and they'll just not disappear. You know, you guys in Illinois have it. There's Washington State, Oregon, all these places with these really bad anti-gun laws, and it's just ridiculous. I'm going to give it a little bit more volume there. But yeah, I'm completely over it. I hate no, I don't trust Arizona, and I don't trust them. You got Katie Hobbs over there. You had voter fraud. You have the cartels controlling your government. I don't trust Arizona. I love parts of Arizona, that Flagstaff, mountainy snow kind of coming in. There's some really, really gorgeous parts of Arizona that hit every mark, but your government's untrustworthy. It's like early Colorado. So no, I can't do Arizona. You can't do New Mexico. New Mexico's gone. You can't do Nevada. Nevada shifts too often on Vegas. They just need one election in Las Vegas to change Nevada. Same thing with Arizona, man. You got a commie in there. You got somebody controlled by the cartels. That woman is completely untrustworthy, should be in jail, and you have a bunch of others kind of in there. I mean, maybe they don't trust the gun laws, but odds are they'll make the gun laws for law abiding people harder. The crooks don't care because they get let out. They'll use their expendable crew. I mean, and it's just ridiculous. All these people are cannon fodder. They're expendable when you get down below in those lower drug areas. It's completely expendable. And so for them to throw those guys in jail or to get them killed, it's no big deal. But you and I are disarmed, so it's not happening. I appreciate it, but yeah, Arizona is just a no go place for me. And so I'm like, Missouri's the only one doing it. I think Kansas is pretty good, but even like Iowa, the Republican governor there in Iowa is stepping down or doing whatever she's doing, and they're trying to do something to Iowa, probably because of the rich farmland. The commies want to wreck Iowa, and so they can't feed our bread. That's our breadbasket, right? So if the commies can get in and wreck these places, then that's what it is. And this is just straight up fucking communist infiltration, and I hate it. I normally don't say anything. I'm kind of quiet politically, but I'm like, now that Colorado threw us completely under the bus. I mean, in 6 years, and we don't vote for this. We have straight up voter fraud. People who say, you voted for that. No, we don't. We have voter fraud. Look at Jenna. She released the passwords, and she released 33 out of 34 passwords, and 33 went blue when the entire country went red. They cheat here, right? My ballot in 2020 I got here in 2005. I was with a very politically active liberal. My ex was a Democrat and she was very political. So we voted, we did all that stuff, right? Well, in 2020, my ballot was rejected. And when it showed up and said we rejected it, we don't your signature's off, it was after the election, like the day after everything was done, they sent me my ballot back and said, you're rejected. So I tossed it to the side and I walked away. Well, a couple days later, I got another letter that if I didn't resolve it, I could go to jail. So she disenfranchised me by saying my ballot for the first time ever, my signature was rejected. Then she threatened me as a Republican. On top of that, after it happened, that Mark Ellis, Perky Coy, whatever, Perkins Coy, law firm, who's the Democrat law firm who does the lawfare against Trump and all that, they contacted me and they're like, you were done dirty. And I'm like, yeah, I was. And they're like, do you want, and as soon as they found out I was a Republican, they walked away because I was registered and independent. And when they talked to me and figured out, they vanished. But at first, they called me up and they're like, oh, you were disenfranchised. You were done dirty. And this was a liberal law firm based on my ballot. They cold called me. And then once they found out I was straight down the pipe Republican, they walked away. This is all corrupt and this is all bullshit. And so I'm going over it, right? So anyway, yeah, I know she is corrupt and she's being investigated. We're talking Arizona. But yeah, I can't do that. I like Arizona. There's a lot to love, but I can't risk this anymore. And people are saying, there's like the gun people here. They were asking for so much money in Colorado. They wanted you to stand up and do so much. When they showed up, they were mocked and laughed at. So then I started saying, commies don't care. You're wasting your time. Commies don't care. You're wasting your time. And you know what they did? They cried. And once this vote came, they were like, I'm out. I said I'm gone, and they're like, "You're a traitor. If all the good people leave, fuck you. There's no way to stay in this state. I can't do business. If you know XYZ Beretta, go down the list. ABC, Abel Beretta, whatever. They want to send me a gun. I gotta buy my rights back to get it to try it, and that could take months. I can't get a firearm in this state anymore because you got to jump through hoops. Now, it's not supposed, I don't think, originally it was saying September. Now I saw that it was August of next year. So if it's August of next year, I will be out before May. You know what I mean? But August of next year gives me time to get out. but they were saying at 1st of September, then there was a bunch of bullshit. I think because the date has changed, it won't go into gear until August of next year. But yeah, it's the politics now. The fucking D-bags wanna hurt you as bad as they can as a law-abiding citizen. They just wanna stomp you. So any blue state now is just royal stomp, man. It's freaking Royal Rumble, all that stuff, and they're just gonna wreck you. So once in like, these are test beds. Once Colorado figures out, like, what's gonna happen, they'll let Colorado take the heat. Then it's gonna be Illinois, then it's gonna be California. And this is how they're getting around being stomped in the semi-automatic bans. They're losing all these bans. They can't do the magazines, they can't do the stuff. So now they're making you jump through hoops and they're saying, "We're not banning it. You just got to buy your rights back. You just got to, you know, do this. You just got to take a class. Oh, you don't want to take a class? Yeah, you can't get the class. The class is booked out. Same thing in this fucking piece of shit state. They say a 72-hour, 3-day wait, and they do it to like the minute. So you go in, you background check, you pass, and they go 72 hours from now, you can get your firearm. However, the last one I just did last week, there was a 1 day and 18-hour backlog and wait. So it wasn't 72 hours. I had to wait 4 days and 18 hours to get my shit. It's bureaucratic hell. What they're doing is making you jump through bureaucratic hoops to friggin' do your rights. And you know what? I'm out. You can't do it. It's beyond bullshit and I'm done. The state is done. I'm psyched because, like, with my ex and everything, she owned the house, everything was there, paid for, it was all good. Well, when I left her, I just grabbed a lease and a new build over here out closer towards the range and jumped on a lease, right? Well, I'm glad because now I got no strings. And as soon as this is done, I may even take this lease company and say, find me shit in Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska. Find me a place that you're associated to, and I'll just cross deck over and leave as soon as possible. This state is done. This state is out. I'm gone. I'm over it. I can't live here anymore. I can't do business here anymore. And my business has been here for 20 years. No, and like September of 2025 is 20 years I've been in business here. Gone. It's wasted. I can't do my job. So I'm out. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this thing, man. I'm completely over the gun stuff or, the gun laws. I'm completely over this communist state. Friggin' bullshit. Time to go. And they know it's unconstitutional. I don't understand. I give money to, firearm policy, to Rocky Mountain gun owners, and they'll lawsuit printer goes burr, right? Lawsuit printer goes burr. They're friggin' printing lawsuits. Why has there not been a single lawsuit against the politician for deprivation of our rights? They know they're breaking the law and depriving us of rights. They know they have unconstitutional shit. Why is not anyone going after these politicians individually? Right? There's a rule on the books. You can't make laws that are freaking, against the Constitution like that. There is that rule, but these fucksticks never, ever, ever use it against each other because they know I'm going to use that for myself later. When I break the law over here, I don't want them breaking the law over there to come after me. So we all agree as politicians, I'll break my laws and you'll break your laws and we'll look the other way. Fuck you. Ain't looking the other way. You guys need to go to jail. You need to get out of here. You can't deprive us of our rights because some communist fucking person gave you money, right? Go to their bank accounts. Go look at their coffers. Go look at this shit. They're being bought and paid for by China. No more. It needs to stop. And I don't care now. Call attention to it. Gotta have a cup of coffee in the morning. Bring attention to these bastards. I'm completely over it. All this shit they did on Sniper's Hide, putting federal agents in there, doing all this stuff. Luckily, we have some ones that know me and that are there and use it the same way you do, and those guys are good. And they don't fuck with shit. They'll let you know, hey man, this is happening over here. Just chill that out. But why do I have to chill that out? Why can't you say what you want to say on Sniper's Hide? Why can't you say what you want to say on Facebook, X, or Twitter and not get fucking looked at as a bad person? They're here doing all this negative shit, and they're just they wanted to bankrupt the country, wreck the government, and then rewrite the Constitution without guns, without these things we can do, and basically take us to Europe, right? So what they'll do is they're running it. They got the replacement migration going on. That's a thing. The NATO friggin' UN is doing the replacement migration. So they run all those people in to destroy our services. Central services get overwhelmed, get wrecked. Then they go and nickel and dime us and stop all these things. As he says in Doge, right? We're well underwater. They're looking to break us. And then once that country's broken, they're like, "Up, Constitution doesn't work no more. No more guns, no more this, no more that." And then America's destroyed from the inside out because these commie infiltrators. Fuck that. Yeah, Kansas, Wichita is where we're mainly looking. I like Wichita. We've been there. Kansas is definitely in that area around Wichita is where I want to go. So I just got a note. Yeah, Kansas, Wichita area, ranges, open space, all that stuff. I like it. Been there, enjoy it. I like Kansas. You know what I mean? We go to Kansas for the race. I go to Kansas to visit B&T Industries. Casey's building a nice new building right next door to where he's at. Casey's a cool, eclectic guy in Kansas. So B&T Industries that does your Atlas bipod, super cool, super eclectic. And so Kansas is a big plus. And yeah, it's just, and I don't mind. I mean, we established a lot of my classes mobile, right? The Iowas, the Nebraskas, the Alaskas. I have a lot of places I can do classes. So to reestablish a range, heck, anybody with a range, I got friggin' 100+ pieces of steel I'll give you because I got to tear my range down once I go. And I have all that steel out there. If you got a range and you're in a state, Kansas, Nebraska, something, and you're listening to the podcast and there's places close to you I can live, I'll donate my steel for your range. That's just where it's going to go. And yeah. I mean, there's just so much positives. The guys are commenting on I'm live as well, like I said. So we're getting the comments are coming in and I have my little comment window. I agree. I love Kansas. I love the idea of Kansas. It's deep red from what I can tell. And yeah, it's going to have to be those directions. It's on those main routes. It's close to Iowa. Laura's family's Iowa. I wouldn't mind Iowa. John Sure Shot Rains is nice. There's a lot around Iowa. Even like Jim C does a lot in Iowa, and I know there's pockets of places. The only negative with Iowa is in the winter it gets really cold, which is weird. And then it's that the seasons of their growth. Because a lot of these guys dual use. I'm a range and a farm. When they grow soybeans, shoot right over the top of them. When they grow corn, that target and that target and that target are no longer available. And so that's what happens and why people don't talk a lot about Iowa, but I like the idea of Iowa as well. But Kansas looks nice. Kansas is central. Kansas, like you said, the airports, the highways, it gets us where we need to go. You know, Other than a weather thing too, I almost like the idea of Arkansas, but you got to be selective, like going east like that for the hurricanes, the floods, and the different natural stuff that happens. So I'm not doing Tennessee. Too many people are going to Tennessee. And so it's not a good thing to go where all the other people up. But yeah, it's Kansas is looking more and more like it. I'm over it. I'm tired of just paying money and being quiet. I don't think I was served by the pro gun groups. I think firearm policy, FPC, I think their history, their track record of lawsuits seems to be the best, right? But these other groups I was supporting, they walked away. Like Rocky Mountain gun owners, I've given Dudley Brown a hard time. It was like, where's the fight? We're doing it, give us more money. And every single day I could show you my phone. They text you every day. Money, 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 especially Colorado with they did 23 gun laws in 6 years that nuke us, right? So it's money, 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 money. I'm like, dude, you haven't even put a chip or won a single thing on the magazine ban. Magazine ban has been beat in other places, and you don't use all that. And then the under 21 stuff, that's been beat too. You can't deny 18-year-old rights. None of that has moved. It's like, what have you done? And they well, then this last time it's like money, 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 money. This fight is coming up in Colorado, and you know what he does? He goes to Europe to sit in on a WEF thing. And when he did that, I called him paid opposition. Why are you in Europe listening to what the anti gun WEF has to say? We know what they have to say, but you can't even win here in an unconstitutional thing. Why are you spending? Oh, you want a free trip to Switzerland? Oh, I got it. You went to Switzerland and you got to enjoy Europe on the pro gunners dime, and you got to say, "Oh, we listened to the anti-gunners in Europe talk." But what you did is you got a free trip to Europe. That's what you did. You didn't do anything here. You haven't won a single thing. I mean, even Mile High, right? Even Mile High opened up stuff in Wyoming so they can move it. That's how do you not leverage a multi-million dollar place like that? I won't throw real numbers out, but man, they're big numbers. And she's leaving. She like Diane's like, I'm out. Wyoming. We got to shop in Wyoming now. We'll move everything to Wyoming. And they have a big, beautiful building here in Colorado, and they can't do business. Right? So all this stuff, and it's moved. It's gone. It's crazy, these anti-gun people and what's going on. I am sick. I'm out of my mind. I gotta go. This can't continue. And I'm not even really talking gun stuff yet. I've been 20 minutes in and we're talking anti-gun. But I did have a good day at the range yesterday and the day before. So Chris was out. We are doing the classes. There are classes posted on the Hide TV. You can sign up. You could say yes, no, maybe. Ask us questions. There's classes in the forum. There's classes there. The next one I think we have coming up is a Mountain Hunter cameo with Chris and I. I mean, Mark and I have classes coming up. The Mark and Frank stuff are slightly different. Mark does things a little bit different than I do as far as leveraging the hide. But yeah, we do have that. So while we're out shooting, doing stuff, the weather, again, the wind, he was out. We had 36-mile-an-hour winds when he was out there, and it was like, no, I'm done. So then I went out yesterday and it popped up to 10 to 12s, and I was able to get some shooting in. I'm moving forward and getting rounds down range with the 6 arc. So we just had the Paul Craddock conversation. I had bought, and it's funny, I didn't realize this was a thing. I'm gonna switch gears now with you guys. I didn't realize this was a thing. So I wanted to move as fast as I could with this 6 arc stuff. So I got the terminus in, I ordered my barrels for the bolt gun, and I talked to Paul and I ordered up 2 uppers from Paul to do the gas gun. And in the meantime, I'm kind of cruising around the internet and I'm looking, at 6 arc ARs. And, Primary has a Geisley for almost 4 grand. And it's like, I could probably, because I work with Primary, they advertise with us. Primary does a lot of stuff around the internet. I'm like, man, I could probably get it at cost, but do I want to spend 3 grand on an AR? And I got the Craddock coming. That's going to be top of the food chain. And so, where am I going to go? Anyway, so I'm like looking around, looking around. I stumbled, and I'm ignorant to the AR world in a lot of ways. I know Gucci shit. I don't look at the bare bones or the little stuff or Arrow would be like where I would go for putting something together. I know Arrow, you build, you order this, order that, order the other thing. You could do a ballistic advantage, order barrels, order this, order that, put them all together and Lego them. But I'm like, I'm not really going to Lego. And so I'm cruising the internet and I'm looking for 6 arcs in stock. And there's not a lot of 6 arcs in stock. So I stumbled on to uh, Bear Creek Arsenal, and they got a quite a bit of 6 arc uppers in stock, and they had a full boat carrier group one. And I'm like looking at it, and it was like 299. I'm like 18-inch stainless steel, 416 6 arc upper was $200. I'm like, okay. And I don't know anything about Bear Creek. I don't know names and things like that for that. I'm just like, it's in stock. I'm like, all right. So I ordered it. And while I was away, it came in, I tossed it to the side. And so then I have a blackout here, really nice trick blackout, does funky shit, but I've never shot it because I'm not a blackout guy. But I have a Gucci blackout. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pull the lower and I'm gonna pop it on that and see what it does. And now that brings me to like the Voodoo 3 to 9. Right, I put the Voodoo on my Bighorn 6.5 Creedmoor. Looked at it in a hunting contest context. In that Voodoo 3 to 9, I can see it being an East Coast hunting scope. It's fully illuminated. It's got a good mag range. The reticle's very usable. It's got a nice dot. Put it on, and you can tuck in without a lot of weight in this. And that Voodoo 3 to 9, I could see in that context of a bolt gun, something small, something light, something hunting, truck gun-ish, whatever. So, but it looks a little odd because it's tiny. We're aesthetic people, right? We're visual. This is a visual medium. And so anyway, I take it off and I liked it. It wasn't bad. It shot well. I zeroed it up. I got good group out of it. Even on 5 power, I was able to get a decent group. Remember, I screwed that up and had the dot on 5 power, but the dot fit the 3-inch shooting C at 500 perfect at 5 power. So 5 equaled 3 inches at 100. And when I just covered the shooting C, I was able to hold tight and get a nice group. Well, I took it off and I put it on this AR 6 arc. Like, all right, let's try it. I ordered a lot of ammo. I ordered everything from the 80 grain to the 103, the 105. I even think I don't have the box open. I even think I got like 108s or whatever. But I got blacks and this and that. I got a bunch of different ammo. But the VT 80, 80 grain varmint, I'm like, I'm going to go that guy. Stuff it up. Luckily, because of the Valk, I got 6.8 mags, right? Stuff her up, pop it in, zero it. Man, this gun shoots good. It runs. I didn't have a single feed, nothing, and it's hammering. I'm like, wow, I like it. My group is nice, and I go. Well, the Voodoo has an MOA reticle. It's a holdover reticle, hash marks, but their MOA reticle, they didn't mark. Like a lot of us MOA reticles, a lot of our mill reticles and our big scopes put a number 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? This doesn't have that. So it's hash marks and I don't have it memorized. I don't know what the numbers mean. So I go and I'm putting that together and zero it up and zeros up great. Get it? Well, I go to my 300-yard donut, and the donut is the sort of the 8-inch circle, I think it's 8, but then it has a 3-inch hole in the middle and the plate behind it. I put the first hash mark under the center dot right at the bottom of that 300-yard plate. Goes through the hole, 3-inch hole, and hits the back plate. I'm like, whoa, that's my 300-yard mark. First hash mark, bottom of the plate. I'm hitting in a 3 MOA space and repeatable. I'm like, damn, that's good. So then I go 2 hash marks up. I'm waterline at 4. Okay, damn, no drama. And I'm touching. Then I go 4 hash marks to just at the bottom, like in the bottom of the plate at 5. And I'm waterline at 5. And this gun's running. It's accurate. This VT is good. So what do? We throw the chronograph on it, right? Got Garmin will travel. Love the Garmin. I got to buy the Tactic 8. I don't have it yet. I got the 5, 6, 7. I think I gave the 5 to somebody. 6 Laura has. I got the 7. But I gave the 5 to a cop in California. But anyway, I'm like, whoa, have Garmin. This stuff's looking good. Pop the Garmin on it. I'm 2866 with an 80 grainer and an SD of 10 out of this $200 upper. 2866 in a 6 mil. Yeah, it's an 80 grainer, but it rock stars. Moves the plate a little bit. Now I'm 18-inch, right? And Chris had his guys there, his NRL Hunter. And I need to go into this story in a second, but he's like, hey, we need to see how it moves the plates. And at 5, it's swinging a full-size IPSC. It's moving it. So he says, these 4 guys that Chris is training, I talked to him. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. He says, he goes, I'm from Colorado. I did NRL Hunter. And they were doing NRL Hunter classes with Chris. We have classes. Get a hold of me. Anyway, Chris was doing NRL Hunter, train up with these guys. And he's at Colin Fossen's match right now this weekend. And so the one guy says to me, he goes, yeah, I'm from Colorado. I moved to Florida. And, I built a 6 arc rifle because there's no real where he's in Florida, there's not really NRL Hunter. It's PRS. And so he gets down there and he's got a 6 arc and he goes, dude, I get great numbers out of my 6 arc. I'm where I'm supposed to be. The numbers are good. He says, I showed up to the first match, met everybody. And they said to him, what are you doing? What are you driving? And he says, I'm driving a 6 arc. What'd you do that for? Why didn't you do a dasher? And he's like, because it's expensive. And I built this as an intermediary and I didn't want to invest in this. I like that. Dasher. Winners use a dasher. He's like, yeah, but my numbers, he goes, I'm doing a 108 at 2850 with my 6 arc. And I'm like, um, you know, what more do I need? He's got a 108 going 2850 with no money. And it's like, yeah. He goes, they razzed me or they gave me enough of a hard time and you can tell it resonated. Why? He's shooting a 6mm 108 at 2850. If he loses a piece of brass, he can go buy a box of 80 grainers for $22 or whatever it was and replace it. He's not checking necks and doing things and checking this and making sure this die is right and that is this and custom this because I need it to be like that. So this, you know what I mean? It's like I like my results. I like what I'm seeing. I think this is a gateway drug with I mean, come on, if you can get an 18-inch upper for $300 that runs, that's giving you VTs at 28, you can do any gas gun match. You can even jump into a regular match with a gas gun and get away with it to practice. Hey, how's your gas gun skills? I don't know. We'll take it to a match and find out, right? But don't the problem is you shouldn't support jackasses. Support the nomads, support the people that aren't telling you what to do and how to do it because they do it. They want misery loves company. And it's ridiculous. I mean, I went this week here and I went the other day. We have a hunting expo. Colorado right here at the Gaylord and I popped in. I saw a bunch of people we know and I'll talk about that later. But anyway, they're like, "Yeah, PRS, it'll take everybody 2 years to figure out there's no return on investment." Right, there is none. And these guys are all saying that there. But I need to talk about it because I saw the Seekins guys. I picked up the brand new Chris has been shooting it. I got mine, but I wasn't we did the mine showed up like 2 days before Cameo, so I didn't bring it to Cameo, and then we went away to Martinsville, and then I'm doing the Detroit Gunworks and these other projects really quick, but I'm going to pop in with the Seekins, the new PH3. And I mean, everything this so I saw them. I picked up a really neat hunting style bipods. There was a bunch of um hunting bipods that a couple of them are neat. Like there's a tricer that's going to be coming out that's kind of looks like a tripod, but it's a bipod. But there's variations of that are different from other people, like Ryder with a Y. I picked up that one. Quarter turn pull. And it's fast, it's easy. They're carbon fiber, they move, you can lock them. There's a lot of neat stuff I'm seeing. I'm not doing 6 max. I looked at it, it's not factory, it's too niche. There I see 6 max. And why do I need more grain capacity than the arc? The arc goes plenty fast out of a bolt gun. But yeah, I saw the 6 max. Somebody took it and I looked it up. It's too niche. It's too I don't see the need. It won't live. It's a niche cartridge. It's not going to become mainstream. The arc world will be mainstream because of Hornaday. 30 338 arc, 22 arc, 6 arc. These Wildcats, it's just like with the 6 mils, like the Satterleys and everybody tried to do with the bolt guns, the SLRs, the this, the that, the other thing. I'm not gonna do oh, I believe it because yeah, I mean but what is he doing? He's got it's 35 grain capacity instead of 34. I looked it up. And I know Ray's super good, but and he's using the max, but it's if you gave him an arc tomorrow, I bet you he does the same thing with it. I'm answering guys on the lives, everybody, with the every day. He's saying how Ray Helms is winning with the 6 max. I get it. It's here's the difference. They're 1 grain of powder. And it's a wildcat. It's not right. It's a 3. It's you got to build it. There's you can buy stuff I think from that ballistic group that makes it. But there's no real factory. You're gonna have to reload. Now you're in the money. And that's what I'm getting away from. It's the money investment. That's you might as well run a dasher or a BR. And if those fed, I mean, if those fed in a small frame AR better, people would run that. They just don't feed right. So what they're trying to do is find the feed. But yeah, I saw it. I looked it up. I can't justify it. And yeah, I don't disbelieve Ray's winning stuff with it, but Ray shoots a lot. And Ray goes to these little local matches. He does 22, he does this, he does a lot. So I guarantee if I handed Ray a 6 arc or a 22 arc, his results would be similar. Yeah, the arc family is going to win. The arc family and the PRC family. those guys are going to go forward. Why I say the Valkyrie's not gonna. I mean, even I just saw the French bought the Grendel, 6.5 Grendel. How stupid is that? It's too slow. And so, yeah, the Arc family, everybody's digging on that 22 Arc. The 6 Arc works. I think it pairs up great. Just 2 days of shooting it, I really like it. And I'm only shooting an 18-inch gas gun right now. Once I get the bolt gun put together, then I'm gonna take it out. And what I plan to do, this is the beauty. Chris has dashers. Chris runs dashers. So I'm going to bring Chris out with his dashers, and we're going to go round for round, plate for plate, and look at the dasher next to the arc. So I have a plan. I plan on going forward with it, and I really think that the arc infrastructure is the way to go, and the PRC infrastructure is the way to go. The Creedmoor too. You can do 6.5 Creedmoor, 22 Creedmoor, and I believe because 22 Creedmoor has brass, if I'm not mistaken. You can buy Hornady 22 Creedmoor brass. They just haven't gotten to the point where they'll do loaded ammo. A lot of those rounds, I don't know who stamped ownership of 22 Creedmoor. It may be the same situation that Gardner does with like the GT, where there was sort of brass first and then loaded ammo came, because George does sort of a timeline thing. They did it with the 6S or 6 SOM 4S thing, where you were able to get brass and then all of a sudden some loaded ammo came out. It's like he has like a 1 year buffer. So, like the Creedmoor now with brass, a year from now, loaded ammo may show up because the Hornady arrangement. So I don't know the arrangements and I can't tell you, but that's how it was in the past. But I think the GT is very good. I think the Creedmoors are very good. So you would, even nobody says a 6 Creedmoor has to go 3,200 or 3,100. You can make a 6 Creedmoor go 28, load it in a slow node. Maybe the slow node's 29 at 50. I don't know. But you can download and say, okay, I'm not doing, 43 grains, I'm doing 36. You could do that in, with a Creedmoor. But the GT preload you into that space. I think the arc in a bolt gun is going to preload you into that space. And the fact you can pair it with a gas gun is just great. That gas gun shot amazing. And I was like, pop, 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 pop. I did some videos, but there, there's this thing with like Canon's autofocus. It does an eye, and I think when I walk away, it follows me to the edge of the screen, and then when I come back, it's way over here. Like it's here, and then I come back and I'm here, and it never finds your face here. It misses your face walking past and then never finds your face back in the middle and stays here. So I ran into a case where I did 2 videos yesterday, and in 2 situations, the autofocus moved away and everything is blurry. And so I got to lock it. I'm by myself, and I'm going to end up hiring somebody cuz I'm getting aggravated with the little fuck ups. I go out by myself. I try to take advantage of the technology. And then the technology, like I said, moves from here to here and then doesn't pick you back up over here. And I go and all I'm looking at, because I'm, 5 feet away from the camera, is if I'm framed. Because I can't see if I'm in focus. I assume I'm in focus. I just look, am I framed? This is the top. Do I have a little bit of gap on the top of my head? And then I move on and I start talking. And so I screwed that up. And I did 2 videos yesterday that ended up being trash because the autofocus moved away because I was by myself. And so yeah, that's kind of an annoying thing. But no, I'm really I really like the 6 arc world, and I think there's less of a learning curve than I saw with the Valkyrie. Right? That like because we're in the 6.5, 6 mil world, and then jumping to the 22 world, it's the same, but it's different. It's got like different change points, you know, and to me, depending how you push a 22, there could be 3 change points instead of 2. So, I do think that 22 arc, the 22 Creedmoors, the 22 GTs are gonna be a thing for comp people in the gas gun worlds likes the 22 arc from everything I can see, but I think the cheap, efficient route is gonna be the 6 arc world. That's going to give you more with less. It's gonna give you more results with a less of a learning curve. It's gonna give you some ease. It it like I said, it runs great. This $200 upper is a sewing machine. And I guess there's a inside joke with Bear Creek. I don't know it. So all I'll say is Bear Creek guys, if you catch up on this, your upper works great. I have no complaints. I ordered a second one that I'm gonna tear apart and put Heather Victor sent me her newest, she has an AR rail, and I'm gonna put Heather Victor's rail on one, and I gotta take it all apart. So I grabbed the second one, and it was actually discounted. The second one I just ordered was 229 or 239. It was less than 250, and I ordered an 20-inch this time. I got a little different, but it was less than $250, and it was in stock. So it was like, hello. But that's where I'm at. That's where everything's going. I've been kind of going 45 minutes without taking a breath for you guys. But I appreciate you everyday sniper guys. I got the there this is going live on the hide. So if you're everyday sniper listeners, you can pop into the hide, and on hide TV it would be up and be there. I never checked to even see like what's on and if I'm there, and did I even like why is it not even there? Yeah, I am, but it doesn't show the oh yeah, it does now. It's weird. It shows the live but doesn't show the live sometimes. I don't get it. You have to redo the phones and stuff like that. But the project's moving forward. I'm really psyched. I'm like barrels, man. I just need 2 barrels, and my bolt gun will be ready to roll. And I did the other thing I did yesterday too. My terminus, my original terminus, cuz I got like a bunch now. My original terminus, I had it in the 6.5 PRC. Prior to doing the cameo with the Apollo Light 6.5 PRC hunting rifle that I took to cameo, I turned my other terminus, I had a barrel and bolt, into a PRC so I can learn the PRC a little better. It's faster than the Creedmoor. Same stuff, but it's a quicker gun, right? Instead of a 5 mile an hour gun, I'm a 6.5. And so I've been shooting that. Well, now that I'm done with the cameo and and the hunting rifle's good, and I'm really happy with that. The 6.5 PRC I love. I think it's our one caliber, one cartridge that can do everything. You can comp with it, you can hunt with it, you can ELR with it. I think it's the closest thing we have to the one gun solution without over compromising. There's always a compromise without over compromising. Like I did the cameo match minimalist, right? Shooting off rocks, trees, things like that. And the recoil didn't beat me up. I could see my misses when I did it right. If you get out of whack on a tree branch and the tree branch moves, you're not going to see. But if I'm on a rock and I'm squared behind it, I can absolutely see my shots within 500 yards with the PRC. On top of that, if I want to throw a PRC with a AMAX or a tip rather, if I want to throw a tip to 2000, I can. And so the PRC I like, but I removed that guy, took that bolt out, put my original terminus and my green ATX back to a 6.5 Creedmoor with a proof pre-fit, and I put my Thunder Beast recoil reducing Magnus on. So I just had gotten my Thunder Beast Magnus with the brake, the recoil reducing. So I mounted that guy up on the proof pre-fit because it's brand new. So I'll have some life out of it, and I put the brake on it, and I have my Magnus. So that's gonna come out, and I'm gonna talk about yeah, I'll get back into that because I did see, but they're using the wrong ammo. The six, he's making a comment. They're using the wrong ammo. They're using the. So yeah, I just fixed that. So with he real quick, but yeah, so I changed that, and he's right. I'll get into that already. So I changed it back to a 6.5 Creedmoor, lightened it up. It's all nice. It's down, and I may even pull one. I may pull my two weights that I had up front. If you've seen it, I have two 1-pounders up front. I may pull them both. Go to Mile High and get an internal, and just put one internal in the front because the way the rifle is balanced right now with the proof and all that is a little off. But yeah, going back to the yes, here's the problem with the 6 arc if you're not paying attention to the factory ammo out there. The heavy match white box 6 arc from Hornady is 2750. That's the same thing they did to the Valkyrie. They made the Valkyries at 90 grain 2750. Doesn't work. You're absolutely right. It does bog down. The guys are saying they want the 6 max because the 6 arc bogs down. Yes, if you do the heaviest bullet at 2750, it'll fall apart and you won't see anything after 700-800 yards. Absolutely, everybody's reported that. But there's other friggin' rounds. There's a 105 and a 103 that are going faster. The 103 is 2850. That's the sweet spot for a 6 millimeter. And if and so yeah, you can get the arc exactly where they need it to be, but what they're doing is going, oh, this one doesn't work, but there's 4 other ones. And so yeah, that's why I get what they're doing with the 6 max. The 6 max won't last. That's just them being silly. And so it's niche. It's not going to come in. Hornady's not going to turn around. Even the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie at 2750, if you look at Hornet or Federal, if you look at Federal, they changed all the Valkyrie ammo and they're calling it more varmint. It's all faster. It's all at 3000 now. They basically quietly rebranded it. They absolutely could have made the Valkyrie go 2900, 2950, 2850. They made it go 2750. Safety, gas gun, slow node, right? Doesn't work there. They did the same thing with the arc. However, they know that they can't always do that, and they learned from the Valkyrie mistake. And there's arc stuff that goes up to 3000, right? The 80 grainers, 3000 feet per second. Out of my little 18-inch gas gun, it's going 2860. It doesn't have the problem of puttering out, right? But if I took the same gun and put the 2750 109 in there, or the 108 at 2750, won't work. And then everything they say will be true. So that's why I'm doing that. Yes, don't go heavy. Light is right. Chris is shooting the 100 grainer. The 100 grainer beats the 153 until you get to 900 yards. On paper, the 100 grainer looks like ass. Less recoil with a lighter bullet, gets there quicker, and the penalties don't show up until 1.5 second time of flight. There's all kinds of articles that Chris has been doing on Sniper's Hide in the main pages under articles regarding the speed differences, heavy versus light and fast. He shoots nothing but the 100 grainer now. So that should tell you something. Light is wrong, man. Light is not right. You get quicker, it's there faster. Less wind, less drift, right? All that stuff. Less elevation because it's there quicker. Light is right, guys. And I'm telling you, it's going to come around. They're trying to make a heavy go fast. Why? Just go a little lighter. The 109 don't work. 105. Oh, that only goes to here. 103. Now you got your speed spot, right? You're not going to give up that much going from a 108, 109 to a 105, 103. You're not giving up much if you're getting 150 more feet per second. Because remember, BCs are tied to muzzle velocity. So if you're going faster, if the box says this, but you go faster, you get better. That's why the the 6.5 SOM 4S, you had a BC when you were spending it at 2750. Well, then once George put it to 2950, all bets were off. Now, oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever, right? It's the 6.5 PRC because they moved that same 6.5 bullet, the 143, from 27 to 29. That's why. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that stuff, guys. That's the thing that we're doing. Got a lot of people on. I appreciate y'all. I may kill the Everyday Sniper podcast. I'll keep going with you guys. I'll let the everyday people just sit in on the lives because we're rocking and rolling. We're conversating. We're having a good time. You too can watch the lives, sit in on the lives. This one happens to be on YouTube and X as well as thehigh.tv. So pop in and see us and say hi. I could actually repencil this. I could do this. Does it come up? No, I didn't do any of that. Anyway, I was just looking to see if I can write my name on there. I can, but not in that scene. But yeah, I honestly like 6.5 Creedmoor, since we're talking light is right. If you go back in time to these podcasts, Everyday Sniper podcast, go back in time, go look up some of the ones with Mike and myself, the Menchaca years. Go look at some of the early ones, less than 200 number, because there's like 300 and something of these. I talk a lot. And go less than 200. We talk about light bullets. But think about this. I am not I was shooting. I'm just getting into the Detroit Gunworks 6.5, and the gun is a freaking laser. Detroit Gunworks guys, I haven't gotten there yet because I'm just doing it. But I've shot less than a box of ammo out of my Detroit Gunworks 6.5 Creedmoor. It's an absolute laser. Well, I grab a box of 143 Norma. I'm 3 mils to 500, where normally I'm 2.5, 2.4, because normally I shoot a 130 out of a 6.5. I don't like going over 130s with the 6.5 Creedmoor. 136, I think, is the best. I think if you're going to sweet spot a 6.5 Creedmoor, the 136 Cinar is the sweet spot. However, you get a lot of people want to do the 140, 143, and so on. That class of bullet doesn't go fast enough unless you hot rod it a little to get 2850. Well, when I do the 130, I'm right at 29. And it's rock star. It gives me all good numbers. Everything's working great. It's really, really good at 29 over. 2750 is the wrong node. I mean, unless you're going to hand load a 150 something, a 144 and bigger to 2750, and you're going to get that single digit SD of 5 or less, it's not that good. Which is why a lot of people aren't shooting it other than plinkers. So that's where I'm at with that. I think the lighter bullets are better. You don't have to wield 28-inch barrels that you're hand loading to get the number they want. right? If you can't get the number you want with the burn at 24, then there's a problem. And where does that come into play? Heavies, right? 22 is the burn sweet spot. They did the Houston warehouse, right? 21 and 3/4 is what they felt for rigidity of the barrel, for complete burn of the gun, and for accuracy downrange. They felt for a field gun, 22 was optimal. Well, we're at 26 and 8 for these guys to get these numbers. So that's why I think it needs to be pared back. A lighter bullet does that. If, everybody's a 140, I want a 130. Unless you're going to make something specific. I have seen the 150s going 2600 work, but they're hand loaded to the nth degree, right? The SD in those is less than 5. And then I took that same guy who shot a 3-inch group at 1,000 yards with his hand load and gave him a box of ammo with the same bullet. And he got 4 out of 5 on the plate with the box. So that should tell you something, right? Yeah, you can race car almost anything. And then if somebody spends time and that's their load, they can make it work, especially if they're dedicated, right? If you're invested and if you're out there doing it, it should be a highlight. If you're invested, hand load, buying components, doing this, doing that, and then you go out and do it every month and you don't have a highlight reel to crow about it, then you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? It's different for like me. I pop in and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go and shoot cameo and I'm gonna grab a box of ammo, and it's like, okay, I'm shooting 143 Normas, I'm going this fast. Oh, I'm out. Hey, what do you got? Oh, I got 143 ELDXs. Oh, they're going 100 feet per second faster. Okay, I'll go shoot them anyway. And I take that within 1 week and then I go shoot a match. Well, that's not the same thing as a guy hand loading 6 max and then shooting it, and then hand loading 6 max and then shooting it, and then hand loading 6 max and then shooting it. Because that's what they do. Yeah. Hand load a 123 and make it good, because then you'll have less recoil and speed. It'll get there quicker. Hey, Corey, how are you? I see Corey on there. Corey, we were just talking about somebody I was just talking to mentioned Corey's name. It was at that expo that you guys were done dirty on something. And at the expo, they brought Corey up, and I was like, I like that guy. And yeah, somebody just mentioned your name on Friday in a good way, but that you were done dirty by somebody in the industry. I'm not going to mention their name. You know who it is. Your buddy in your backyard who moved. Anyway, but yeah, so that's kind of yeah, like if you are in that hand loading world, everything he's doing with the 6 max, I would bet you could do with the 6 arc. I would almost guarantee the work put in. I mean, it's 1 grain of powder. It's 34 versus 35. So crazy. But even part of that is like, that's the beauty of the BR and the dashers, right? To use a little bit less to be more efficient. So are we sure the case on the max is efficient as the case on the arc? Because that's kind of the beauty of the dasher and the BR. It's a tiny efficient case for less powder with a 6 mil. Yeah, Corey. Corey's laughing. He knows who I mean. It's funny when the world's like, "Hey, I don't like that guy," and then everybody knows who they're talking about. But yeah, I mean, if you're in the hand loading world, you're in the hand loading world. Like I said, you should be optimizing what you're using to benefit your style, your gun, your process and program. So if you're hand loading what the other guy's doing and you're never really gaining on him, maybe that's the wrong thing for you. If everybody's doing a dasher and you're hand loading it and you're still 35th place, then maybe that's not that's not resonating with you. I don't know. I think if you're invested in that, if you're doing that, you should be it should shine for you in a way. It should give, like I said, a highlight. You should have a highlight. And not everybody has a highlight reel. So I don't. I mean, I used to. I don't have a highlight reel anymore that I'm old and I'm changing shit. But I've done some things that were highlight reel. I've been to matches and pulled off a shot like weird shit, and highlight reel. But yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, and it is, but it is pricey though, and everybody's saying I know the alpha and I'm still jaded because of the workup. I'm jaded in the dasher because it took a minute for alpha and everything to get there. And there was a lot of custom stuff, a lot of money being spent. And so now I know the alpha kind of turns it to an easy button, but at the same time, it's a whole process you're going through to buy into it. There is no there like I can get a box of arc ammo and fill in a blank. And you can't really do that. But I know everybody likes the alpha world with the dasher now. But it's chasing brass then though. It's chasing component. Like people care if they lose a piece of brass because it's pricey. If I drop a Valkyrie, I don't care. And now I get 3,000 feet per second out of an 85.5. My Valkyrie can do the same thing a 22 Creedmoor can do. But if I lose that piece of brass, I don't care. I have a SD of 5 in 3025, 3,025 feet per second with an 85.5 out of my Valkyrie. So hand loading, I've made my Valkyrie every bit of Creedmoor, every bit of GT, and the Valkyrie brass and the components are cheaper. So that's kind of where I'm going. But it's it's that you know what I mean? I don't know. I get it. I get there's an easy button now, but you pay for the easy button. You're buying a Mercedes, you're buying an Audi. But if I can buy a Ford Escort and do the same thing as an Audi and you can't tell the difference downrange, that's where I'm going. That brings more people into the fold, right? In fact, on Friday we were there and a manufacturer, a big company who's invested in the competitions, they even said, "Yeah, what are they doing? Like 700 people?" They know they know the the score now. And like they said, it takes people 2 years to figure out there's no return in investment from that side. They all want to be but they know their numbers are small. And that's just the thing. The Valkyrie, the bitch with the Valkyrie, when I shot it at Colville, I shot the 90 grain at 2750, never moved a plate. And in Carl's, Colville, Washington, it was wet and green. Nobody saw a miss. But then I changed the load. I changed the load after. The cool thing up there in Idaho, you have that munition place that will build your loads for you with all the Area 419s. I don't know if they're still up and in operation. There's like a something munition place that Sawas are attached to. So they'll load stuff and you can even try it. Hey, make this load for me. Let me try it, see how the results are, and then you could decide if you want to invest in something. But yeah, I mean, you look at the 22 GT, you look at the 22 Creedmoor. That's a that's a 22 going 3,000 feet per second. 27 grains of CFE in a Valkyrie is 3,000 feet per second. 28 grains, which there's plenty of room, was like 3,200. I backed it down and then I loaded longer because when I loaded it short, like the original load a guy gave me was like 28 grain with a 1.6 to ogive with a 85.5. When I did 28 grain with a in my out of my bolt gun, it was like crazy 3,200 feet per second. And then I backed it down to 27 and brought it to 3,000, did the seating depth to 1,795, which still fits in the mag. And now I'm at 3025 with an SD of 5. So unknown musician munitions. Yeah, those guys, they were supposed to do me something but never did, but I didn't follow up. But I think those guys would help kind of find the load and figure out, and then you can go to them and say, "Hey, make this for me and try it," or, if you're not invested in that cuz they have everything. So you can turn around to that unknown munitions and say, "Load me these, and if they work, well then buy it for yourself and load it yourself." But the problem is the hand load, and when you have to, like the dasher, you have to go into the hand load world. And so that's all that money up front. You're front loading the cost. And then burnout. What happens when you're done in 3 years? So that's why I'd rather something like the arc, where if you decide 3 years from now, I'm not going to do comps, I'm not, but then you're going to plink and play, you're not spending a lot of money. So that's where I was at with that. Hey, you everyday sniper guys, you still there? It looks like it's still recording and we're still going. Been live for an hour and 15 minutes. I don't even, where's my clock? Oh, there it is, 11:30. I'll go a little bit more. I'll go 11:45 and we'll talk good for you all. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm really enjoying this. And I think this arc has a lot of merit. Like I said, it feeds well. It's running. I'm running a $200 upper in the thing sewing machine and it's hammering. Like I stacked that 400. And I filmed a little of it. I have like those when I was shooting downrange, I throw a GoPro down. So that footage is all good. The only footage that died was the footage from me. So I moved and then the camera moved, or the autofocus followed me and then didn't pick me back up. And it went into infinity and then blurred me. And now you could see, I could see the skyline. But I got to fix that. And that was just my own trying to do shit by myself. Um, but anyway, yeah, that's where we've been with the projects. That's where we're at the high. Thank you, everyday sniper guys. The Paul Craddock cast was phenomenal. I want to do more. I talked to Paul again on Friday. We were talking uppers and doing that, and he's putting together the shorty. And then that's the other thing. Like with this 6 arc, they're doing 11 fives. They're doing 14 fives. So imagine this. I'm going to do an 11 to 14 inch 6 arc upper. That's going to be my side, right? And then I could do a 6 arc bolt gun. Now I'm pairing everything and know that 6 arc bolt gun is going to reach out no problem. And then my upper is short as shit and small, and I can reach out to 500-600 yards with that. Now I have fast, quick door gunner stuff close with a 6 mil, and then reach out and touch with the same 6 mil. I'm pairing my calibers, right? I'm pairing my cartridges. And that's where I think the benefit's going to come in. I think the benefit we're going to see is there's a lot of really happy people. And I talked to the military guys too, 18 and down with that arc. There's a lot of happy people shooting 18-inch and shorter. So now if I'm carrying that and I got a bolt gun in my back, it's all the same. So that's where I'm at with you guys, and that's kind of where I think it's going. Nice crowd on there. Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. From who I can see, because it doesn't always show me everybody, but I appreciate it. We got a nice group of people on board listening, and so yeah, we're I hardwired my internet so I don't get the drops. The wireless was just so I pulled meters, and luckily the house was half a smart house, and it had ethernet in the wall just not connected to anything. They wired it, but none of it's connected. Then I have an alarm panel downstairs that's a central hub. Well, not only is the alarm system in there, the ethernet is in there. And then I was able to find cable from behind the modem to cable to the box, then from the box to this room. And I metered everything, and it was like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, got it. I put couplers in, connected it, and then hardwired to here. And now everything's working. So I appreciate you guys online. I appreciate you everybody's watching, the X crowd, the YouTube crowd, and then the High TV crowd are all on. So I'm triple simulcast, and I'm working without the drops that I was getting before, without the hiccups and without all the weirdness that was going on. But yeah, it's a fun time to do this. My weather's going to be good. I'll be back out. I was going to go out this morning, but when that camera depressed me. I was like so depressed. But I was going to go out this morning, and then I said, "Nah, I'm going to just have my coffee and I'll talk to you all about what I did yesterday and the day before." And oh, it did go Frank Galley. Now it's up, and then I can do this. We'll go the high TV. There you go. And that's where the kitchen. Oh, what can I was gonna say? He says the kitchen looks great. I said I don't have my kitchen here. This is my back bedroom. Thanks, Corey. Thanks everybody for coming on. Thanks for all the comments in the comments section. I did look at the 6 Max. I don't see the benefit. I mean, yeah, you can throw a little bit more out of it, but you know, it's not factory. I don't want to buy overpriced stuff again. And to me, it's that same route with the Dasher. Eventually, it might get there. But the PRC infrastructure, the PRC world, the ARC world, I think they're established. I think they're here to stay. If I can live in the PRC world and in the ARC world, I'm happy. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm in the Creedmoor world. And I think the Creedmoor is just a smaller extension of all of these. But between Creedmoor, PRC, and ARC, I think I can solve every problem without having to get tricky hand loading. So that's where we're at. Again, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being part of the Everyday Sniper. We will talk to you all soon, and I am out of here.